What's good, family? What's good? IOBA, I'm TC. So check this out right here. I don't know if how many people remember the NFAC and Grandmaster Jay and all that was going on back in 2020 when Breonna Taylor was murdered. But if you don't remember, let me give you a quick rundown on what I witnessed. Back then, there was a lot of demonstrations and a lot going on. And a man named John Fitzgerald Johnson formed a militia group. And that militia group was called the NFAC. And he would do these demonstrations where he would have a whole bunch of his militia members dress up in all black BDUs and carry their rifles, and they would do open carry demonstrations at, some of these protests. He did a protest in Georgia where he had maybe 400 people all dressed in black marching with their weapons. That shit was a sight to see. And I don't know if y'all remember back then, but people was getting, lynched and shit up to that point. The minute that the NFAC came along and started doing that show of power, the lynching stopped because, that was one of the things that the NFAC was protecting against, all that lynching, and protesting against all that lynching and indiscriminate killing of black people. And it was showing people that, we got guns too, and we ain't about to just lay down. This ain't 1945, and we ain't about to lay down and just allow ourselves to be murdered like that. Anyway, it scared the shit out of white people. It scared the shit out of Donald Trump because he even mentioned it once or twice. Because I think he came across some people on he said he saw some people in an airport or something all dressed in black. Anyway, Jeff Sessions, his attorney general, decided that he was going to go after the so-called black identity extremists. He got a lot of pushback from Congress people and the grassroots in general, and he kind of quieted down on that rhetoric. But trust and believe, they didn't stop going after what they consider black identity extremists, one of which was John Fitzgerald Johnson, a.k.a. Grandmaster Jay. So they arrested Grandmaster Jay, as we knew they would, and they charged him with pointing his weapon at a federal officer. There were some people up on a roof, and Grandmaster Jay and the NFAC guys were getting ready to do a protest, and they were, I guess they were doing their logistics anyway. They was having some sort of little gathering before the main protest, and the federal agents were up on the roof looking down on them. Grandmaster Jay looked up to his scope of his rifle at the guys up on the roof. They considered that pointing a weapon at a federal agent. So they gave him 7 years in federal prison for that shit. Grandmaster Jay is 60 years old. He'll be 67 when he gets out and 70 when he finally gets off paper. Now, being a healthy black man, that might not neutralize you because if I'm not mistaken, Nelson Mandela was up in age when he finally got out of jail, and he became president of South Africa. But I digress from that point. What they did was they neutralized the NFAC, just like they neutralize all black militia organizations that get too big and scary for them. Just like they said that, they're going to have to present the rising of another black messiah that black people can organize and galvanize around. So they got rid of Grandmaster Jay and neutralized and crushed his organization because of the fear he struck in the hearts of white people. My thing is this. When Grandmaster Jay was out there doing his thing, certain people on the internet and in the black community was calling him an agent and an operative. Like, I guess an agent of the federal government or the FBI or the CIA or something. They was calling him all kind of shit like that. I used to check his podcast out. He was just like everybody else. He spoke a lot of truth. And he, wanted to just send in donations to help support the organization, just like everybody else in that regard. But he was spitting truth, and I personally believe that there was a place for him in the struggle. But other people thought otherwise. But just know that if he was an agent or operative, why would the federal government arrest him and throw his ass under the jail like that? Why would he need to be neutralized like that if he was a federal agent or an operative? You know what I mean? I believe he ran for president in I want to say 2016 as a third party candidate, and I think his website, his page is still up. You can go check it out. His name, like I said, is John Fitzgerald Johnson, and his policy is still up. People was coming down on him for things that he was saying during that campaign. But during that campaign, you had to say a lot of shit, like any other politician. You had to say a lot of shit that you don't necessarily believe. But I digress from that as well. The point is, he scared the shit out of black people. They threw him in jail. And if he was a real agent of the federal government sent to help crush black organizations and movements, why then would they throw him in jail and throw away the key? Why would they do that? So, you know, when you just know that when you get out there and you start doing your organizations, you start your organizations and you start doing your rallies and you start doing your movements and shit, just know that the federal government sees you, and they will, if you get too big and too powerful and too boastful and they can pinpoint a leader in your organization, they may be coming for you. Just know that. Just know that, you know. I still believe that there is a place, like I said earlier, for somebody like a Grandmaster Jay and his organization, because, you know, folks got to know that we not the same people we were in the 1920s, 30s, 40s, and 50s. You know what I mean? We're willing to push back and fight back now. So, you know, while, you know, all of these white boys running up in the Capitol and talking about a civil war and everything, you know, you got to realize it ain't going to be nearly as easy as y'all anticipate. All right? So my thoughts are with Grandmaster Jay. I hope he do all right in there, and I hope when he get out that he still had the same fire he had when he first started, and he wasn't, he wasn't, you know, just an opportunist, that he did mean the things that he was saying and really did want to push the condition of black people forward. And with that, I'm gonna tell y'all, you know, go over and look at his page and check his shit out, and see that he was legit as far as a politician is concerned, and that his organization was good for what it represented. I don't know how y'all felt about him, but that's how I feel about him. But that's how I feel about him. Anyway, with that, I'm gonna sign off. Y'all don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you want some, you know, good common sense, down to earth, plainly spoken opinion on some of the current events of the day. By the way, just in case anybody was wondering, I solidly stand with Kyrie Irving. I solidly stand behind that brother, and all that's connected with him. So don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and help me get my video subscriptions up to my subscribers up to 100 by Christmas time, and I would very much appreciate it. TC, and I'm out.